What's up guys, Deal here from ProNDC. Welcome to another ESO build video. Today I want to show you the Magicka Templar for PvE for the update 1 Tamriel. The setup that I'm about to show you is not very unique. It's a pretty common setup. A lot of players out there use it or use a quite the similar setup. You can of course use other sets. I will get to that later when I'm talking about gear. I want to start with stats first, of course. This is a melee build, so we're using dual wield as our main bar. I'm at 43.4k max magic, 18.4k max health, and 11.2k max stamina. My spell damage unbuffed is at 2.1k with 62% spell crit, and as you can see my spell resistance is pretty high, but that's because of my CP, because currently I'm using my Veteran of Lockash hard mode CP setup. I have 64 points into Magicka, of course. And I am a vampire. You do not need to be a vampire, but I certainly recommend it, because if you have stage 4 vampirism, or at least stage 2 vampirism or higher, you get 10% more Magicka and stamina recovery. And of course the undead passive from vampirism is pretty nice as well, so you get less damage, which comes in pretty handy in some trials. I do not recommend going lower than stage 2 vampirism, or maybe like get rid of vampirism with the buff food from the event, or just, I don't know, suck out some NPCs when you go to Helra or the Ethereal Archive, because especially at the last boss, the mage, at the execute phase there's only fire damage and vampires will feel it a lot. So get rid of the vampire. If you go to the archive in Helra, it's not that bad. You can shield yourself most of the times, but for the mage fight it's better to not have stage 4 vampirism. I'm using the Thief and the Shadow Moonstone, so I get more crit chance and crit strike chance and more crit strike damage. I have minus layer and max health and max Magicka buff food, of course. So that's it for the stats. On my desktop bar, Infernal Staff, my stats look like these. Just about 40.6k max Magicka, health and stamina is the same. A bit less spell damage, but a bit more spell crit, because I'm using a precise Maelstrom Staff. You do not need a Maelstrom Staff. I'm using the Infallible Ether jewelry. You could also use, if you have a sharpened one, and start from there. The thing is, when you use dual wield as your main bar, all your light attacks scale off of your maximum stamina, your weapon damage, and your weapon crit strike chance. So boosting the light attacks with the Maelstrom Staff enchantment for your swords is not very beneficial. Overall, or all in all, your when you look at your DPS parses, your light attacks on a melee Magicka Templar build will only do like 1 to 2% of your overall damage. So it's not, you do not benefit that much from using a Maelstrom Staff. So if you have sharpened like Infallible Ether Staff, I do have one, but I forgot to put it into the bank, and I was too lazy to switch characters before recording videos, so I apologize for that. Use that stuff. The setup that I used before, I will get to that later. I want to show you what I'm using now. So it's 2 swords of the willpower. Both are sharpened, one with the flame damage enchant and one with the spell damage enchant. And then of course my Maelstrom Staff with precise. Swords of willpower are pretty expensive right now. They're about 300k, maybe a bit more expensive, depends where you do buy these. You can farm for them. You can use the key fragments and go to the Imperial City, open some chests and get willpower swords if you're lucky. You do not need to use willpower swords. They are better for this build, but you can also go with the Torque's Pact swords. Torque's Pact, instead of max magic, they give you 129 spell damage. Since your main skill, or your execute skill, the Radiant Impression, deals more damage depending on how much Magicka you have left compared to the HP left of the enemy. It's a bit better to have more max Magicka than more spell damage. So Torque's Pact would be like the cheaper option. If you want a craftable option, you could use these. But if you have willpower swords and sharpened, just go for them. They're much better. Then I'm using, of course, Growth Star, Max Magicka, and the 2-piece bonuses. When you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to create lava pools around you. The AoE damage is insane. It can be a bit of a problem during the V-Mall end boss fight because people have a hard time to see the AoE bomb on the 3rd platform when Growth Star is active. So a lot of people don't like this set in that trial, but in every other trial it's really amazing when it comes to damage. You can also of course use Vulcan Scoria, but I do not have it with me right now. I think it's better for ranged DPS. It gives you max health, and when you deal damage with the damage over time effect, you have 8% chance to summon a meteor, which deals also crap ton of damage. So it activates from dots, and every skill that you use on the Templar is a dot. So if it's puncturing sweeps, if it's your radiant oppression, your reflector light, your elemental blockade, even your blazing spear and your beast trap, even your meteor and your destro ult, they are dots. So you can, of course, you can activate Vulcan Scoria a lot of times. So it's definitely a viable option. The 5-piece set that I'm using is Twice-Born Star. Twice-Born Star, I use it all the time. The thing is, it gives you max health. And especially in hard mode content, the max health bonus is pretty amazing. Even if the main tank has an armory, and you would set like around 18.2k max health, I think, especially for V-Mall hard mode, it's better to have a bit more health. The damage difference between other setups like Burning Spellweave or, I don't know, Mother's Sorrow is not that high, and I think the max health bonus is too valuable to, just ignore it. So go for Twice-Born Star. It's craftable. It's easy to obtain, and you don't have to farm for it. Then we have the necklace and the rings of the Infallible Ether setup, and you can get these from the Cracklorn raids. You get the gold jewelry from Veteran, from clearing the raids on Veteran difficulty. You get Spell Crit. You get Minor Slayer. Minor Slayer doesn't work the way it's... I'm not sure if it's intended that way. You get 5% more damage to all your skills against any monster in trials and dungeons. The thing is, the 5% more damage doesn't really apply to your execute skills. So what gets boosted by 5% is the base damage, the 15k magic damage over 2.9 seconds, but not the additional 330% damage and not the additional 20% damage, depending on how much Magicka you have left. So all in all, Radiant Oppression or any morph will only get boosted by around 1.25%. But in the future, that won't be much of a deal, because Radiant Destruction and its morphs will be reduced in damage by 21%. That is, if they really do bring these changes with the next update with Homestead. So you will start executing later. Right now you can start executing at around between 40 and 35% HP of the boss left. You can start executing. Then your Radiant Oppression will be stronger than your puncturing sweeps. So it's not that bad to have the 3-piece bonus, the Minor Slayer. Some people said no, just go for willpower, and I did. The results are pretty similar. So, but I can get this jewelry in gold, so I stick with it. The setup that I used before was I used one sharpened sword of the Infallible Ether. I think I still have it here. Yeah, here, sharpened sword, and then I had a Twice-Born Star sword. And on the back bar, I had a Twice-Born Star Inferno Staff, and I think I have it with me right now. Or do I? I do. So I was using the Twice-Born Star Inferno Staff on the back bar instead of the Maelstrom Staff. It's sharpened, so I benefit more from it since my Elemental Blockade does more damage. And I was using one piece of the Infallible Ether on my body. So let me just switch out the stuff so you can see the stats. Where is it? Twice-Born Star Sword. Infallible Ether Sword, and on the back bar my twice 1 star Inferno Staff, and of course the Infallible Ether shoes. So right now I have 5 pieces of the Infallible Ether equipped. I have 5 pieces of twice 1 star equipped, of course. As you can see, I still have both Mundo Stones, and my stats look like this. So I have a bit more spell crit, but the base damage is a bit lower. But if you like look for a craftable option, or an option where most of the sets can be crafted, or at least some of the weapons can be crafted, and you have one Infallible Ether Sword, you can do it like this. I used to play with it like this, and my Radiant still hit for more than 70k, so it's not that bad. But still, I prefer the other setup. It does more damage. So we'll just switch it again. So where is it here? And of course my willpower swords. So that's for the gear setup. Let's just hop into skills. So my main damage skill is my puncturing sweeps. It deals a crap ton of damage, and it heals you for 35% of the damage done, and also does AoE damage, so it's pretty nice. Same goes for Reflective Light. I chose that morph because it's AoE, it can hit multiple targets, and it fits a bit better into my rotation as the duration is a bit shorter than from Vampire's Bane. On my front bar I have Harness Magicka right now. I used to put the Blazing Spear here. Thing is, I want to shield quickly in hard mode content. So if we are playing like hard mode content and I'm DPS, I've been healing a lot recently, I want to shield quickly. So there's also a passive, the Piercing Spear. If you have an Adric Spear ability slotted, you get 10% more crit damage. I used to have both Adric Spear abilities on one bar, so I lost 10% crit damage on the back bar. I do not want that. So I put Blazing Spear on the back bar and the shield on the front bar. It's a bit easier for me that way. Then I have Radiant Oppression, of course, or Execute, used at 35 to 40% HP of the boss left. It will deal a crap ton of damage, trust me. Inner Light gives us Major Prophecy, so 10% more spell crit, and of course 5% more max Magicka, and 2% additional max Magicka, because it's a major skilled ability. Same goes for Shooting Star, 2% more max magic, and we use it in fights where we have a lot of trash mobs and we want to get ultimate fast, because 12 ultimate for each enemy hit. That's pretty nice, and it hits really hard. So like 50k plus hits for a crit, and like, I don't know, like 18k crit hits per tick, which is also really strong. Most of the times I'm using Fiery Rage. Yeah, I know it's not leveled. I'm a scrub. I'm really lazy, but I've been healing a lot, so I didn't feel that I really need to level it. But now I need to play DPS, so I'm sticking with this ultimate. It's really strong. It's AoE 10 meter radius, and it deals up to like more than 30k damage per tick per enemy within this radius. So really strong. Then of course double slot Inner Light, so we do not lose the crit, and max magic on the back bar. Then we have Rearming Trap. Rearming Trap, you wanna reapply that dot every 2 rotations. So every 2 times you get you come back to your Inferno Staff bar, you put down Rearming Trap, and then of course your Elemental Blockade. Every 2 times. Because the trap itself will last for 15 seconds, so 1.5 seconds until it's ready. Then it will tick for 6 seconds where you get the minor force buff. Then again 1.5 seconds until it's ready again, and then 6 seconds again. So all in all 15 seconds. And the duration of the blockade is 8 seconds. So every 2 times when we switch bars to reapply the Elemental Blockade, we reapply the Rearming Trap, of course. Then we have the Blazing Spear. Use it only when there's 3 or more enemies. Then this will deal more damage and it's more beneficial. In most of the fights there are some trash mobs, so you can throw it every rotation, every time you switch bars, It's pretty nice, and also nice for the tanks. The healers do not have to throw shards that often. Also, the other DPS can use the shards to get back stamina for blocking or for their own beast trap or re-armoring trap. So it's really nice. You don't need to use it that much, but I throw one every rotation, every time I switch bars. Then I have Channel Focus. Channel Focus gives me back 120 Magicka every 0.5 seconds, and also boosts my resistances by more than 5k, which is pretty much. You can put, of course, other skills here. Totally up to you. You could use, I don't know, maybe Breath of Life if you want to try and help with healing a little bit. You can put in Ritual of Retribution. Since I heal, I have the extended ritual. I was just a bit too lazy to remorph it again, because I'm pretty sure I have to switch to heal soon. And yeah, you can use that skill. Ritual of Retribution will deal a lot of AoE damage. The radius is 12 meters, which is pretty big. And this is kind of a flex, but you can put any skill here that you want. Then we have Blockade of Fire, of course. A damage skill that does a lot of damage, a lot of AoE damage, and you need to have this active like almost all the time. It will deal, I think it's the skill that does the second most damage after your Radiant Destruction. Depends a bit on how much it crits, but that's for the skills. Let's take a look at champion points. So champion point for the green tree, pretty basic. We have 100 points into Magician and 87 points into Arcanist. Of course, at least 30 points here in that tree for the Synergizer passive, so you get 2 ultimate every time, but full cost reduction, of course, and put 100 points here, maybe like some 30 to 50-ish points here, and then you can put some points on Tumbling or Shadow Ward, totally up to you. For the red tree, currently I have 25 points to Quick Recovery, 100 Elemental Defender, and the rest into Spell Shield because of the Veteran of Lockhart hard mode. We do not have any physical damage or like poison disease damage at the last boss fight, except for the Hulk and maybe for the archers. But the thing is, if the tanks do their job, we do not get hit by that damage anyway. So you need to reduce it. If you go to another trial or another dungeon, you might want to put some points into Hardy or points into Thick Skin. So totally up to you. Try to put points into any tree. Just think about what points you need, what damage you take, and try to reduce it the best way you can. For the blue tree, we have 65 points into Thaumaturge, 33 into Elfborn, and 89 in Elemental Expert. The thing is, every skill benefits from both Thaumaturge and Elemental Expert. Every skill that we use. So the Puncturing Sweeps, the Radiant Oppression, the Reflective Light, the Blockade, the Rearming Trap, the Blazing Spear, and even the Meteor and the Fiery Rage. All have at least a damage over time component. They have, of course, some have an initial hit. So we put some more points into Elemental Expert to boost the initial hit a bit more, and we still put a lot of points into Thaumaturge to increase the overall damage of the skills. So 33 points into Elfborn to hit the jump point, 89 in Elemental Expert, and 65 into Thaumaturge. So that's it for the setup. Just a short, quick update. If you want some more detailed videos, just tell me in the comment section below. I will try to do some more in-depth videos and try to explain rotation a bit more, but I guess most of the people do know how to play Magicka Templar. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. Leave a like if you like the content. Leave a sub if you want to see some more ESO content on my channel. And yeah, I see you in the next video. So see you soon.